Hey guys, Joshua Peterson here, Peterson Electric. It is December, almost before Christmas 2019. Code is still 2017. It'll change next month and be adopted by June of 2020. This video is going to be based upon if I finish my basement partial, can I leave the walls with cement, the floor with cement, the grid ceiling? So however my SEO guy wants to do that, it'll be kind of like an unfinished basement. So why don't we come over here? So you have to keep in mind that if the floor is going to be finished like this, that it's considered unfinished and all the circuits have to be GFI'd that are 120. In the new code, if it's 240 volt, it'll have to be GFI'd as well. As far as arc fault, the way Johnstown sees it is you're allowed to finish the walls. And if you do, you still have to meet your spacing of your boxes along the wall. Okay, and they just wanted me to put an extra one in here for the shop. I do think that the arc fault's going to trip and the GFI is going to trip. It's a dual function breaker because of the saws. So once I pass inspection, I may have to come out and put in a normal breaker for this circuit right here. If your ceiling is going to be painted black, you want to make sure that your jurisdiction allows you to paint it. Some jurisdictions make you insulate the ceiling. The minute that you insulate the ceiling and drywall it, or put a grid, you actually end up having to fire block it. And that's every 10 foot. And then down the wall every 10 foot as well. Keep in mind, some cities don't care about floating walls. Most of ours around here say that you have to have 2 to 4 inches. I know that Fort Collins is adopted, they don't care, but we have bentonite soil here in Colorado. Quit stepping back. So keep in mind that when you are finishing that basement, some jurisdictions do not allow cement like this at all. If you're going to finish it, even though it's unfinished, you still have to have batted insulation. Fort Collins probably wouldn't even allow this because of their energy code. So it's not just the electric code, it's the energy. If you're going to keep it unfinished with walls and put conduit like we did, you have to protect that wire less than 8 foot. The other thing that you got to keep in mind is that if you're going to put a grid ceiling, the minute you go to a grid ceiling and it looks nice and you can get through it later, you cannot use this NM cable in Romex. It's not allowed. You have to go with an MC cable. So your estimate goes up. Some guys are going to metal studs instead of wood studs because it's cheaper and funner to work with. It ends up almost getting 30% more on the estimate because we end up running MC cable through all the walls. And now we're using metallic boxes like this with bracket arms or some kind of caddy strap, or it's like an 8/16 caddy strap that adjusts. And then you're using panhead screws. So the electrical estimate goes up in the walls if they're metal. And the electrical estimate goes up if you're going to end up going to a grid ceiling. So if you're trying to keep this unfinished look and you already have the batted insulation, you can put the boxes against the wall. We do that all the time. But you might as well just paint your ceiling black, making sure it's okay to spray everything black. Now, when you paint it black, you cannot spray paint all the wires in the boxes or the can lights. You'll end up ripping it all out and redoing it. So you have to stuff insulation in there. So anyways, this is kind of how it turned out, the bathroom in here, this little workshop area. When you're planning to install your panel, you want to find some kind of center wall, but not in a closet, of a linen. This is a mechanical closet or mechanical room, so it's okay. But you do have to have 36 inches of clearance, and you need to have 15 inches. Basically, the rule is 15 inches to center in here. It's fine, as long as your door goes past 90 degrees. Personally, I'd rather have this moved over a little bit or cut down, but as long as the guy can get in here, and then your breakers are not higher than 6'7". Okay, so that's kind of a good location for a load center. The other thing to keep in mind if you're coming in through this area and you are insulating all that and then spraying it, you can do that too, but you're probably not going to use the pink insulation. You're going to go probably with a white plastic or styrofoam. So again, this is kind of the finished look. Everything's going to be gray walls, great industrial looking conduit, floors finished. You're going to have to arc fault and GFI, though it looks like it's not finished. It is, according to Johnstown, and the GFCI because it's cement floor. Anyways, guys, hopefully that'll help you out. Yeah, you hopefully got a good look around here. Oh, and we are putting in the disc lights, though the ceiling is not going to be drywalled. There is no soffits. So we're going to put in the white disc light, and then later on in a year he's going to paint it. You have to take those off, put paper, spray everything, pull the wires and the paper out, and then reconnect the 3 wires, and then put the discs back up. They're a flat disc about 1/2 inch, and they're 6-inch round, and they really work well in remodel situations that look like a can light. They don't have quite that recessed 1/2 inch, 5/8 inch recess up and down, but they are still a flat disc. They're very flat compared to some of the other stuff about a couple of years ago that were about 1 inch, 1.25 inches. But you'll see the finished on that. I'll do a video. You'll have to find that, but it'll be a little while till we get to go ahead and get a trim out. Thanks for joining us, guys.